take my soul tonight. I'm humbled at your feet. Surrender my life to your hands, to your son who died for me.
Welcome.
Hello.
We have Kathy and Pamela.
Hey, Kathy. Hey, Pamela.
And Claudette. And there's shows 10, so there's some people in the background. Come in and join us.
Hello, Claudette, my dear twin. Look, y'all share us out. Out.
It's going to be interesting conversations today.
It is.
And hopefully it helps all of us. Hi,
We're
Jamie.
So glad that y'all are here. Hey, Jamie.
Yes, everyone's welcome. It's, we're not going to allow any drama or any rudeness, but everyone's welcome. We're learning.
Yeah, we
right
encourage
along with
it.
you.
Yeah, we encourage it.
Yep. And we want your opinions. I feel like we don't always agree with each other. I mean, and that's human and that's fine, but no one's going to give you a bad time in here.
No, you need to. This is a safe place. Believe me, it's a safe place.
So we're showing 11. We'll wait for a few more. And we've done a lot of work on this. And then I get to the point, I think, well, Lord, just tell me the right words to say.
Yeah, I've been saying that mostly today about just let it be. Because, Josie, you and I are not teaching anything. We're just facilitating a conversation. Within the chat, you'll bring up a subject and then we'll elaborate on it or whatever. Because you and I are learning too. It's not like we're trying to sit up here and say, oh, let me show you how you're supposed to live your life. That's not even close to what we're trying to do.
And it's not just our personal opinion, because I know, look at, these are all researching.
Yes.
So it's not just our personal opinion. And on any of our once a month shows, we both do a little bit of research.
And that's the one thing I like about this is it is you and I both research different things and we share it with the chat. And it's like you said, it's not maybe what we believe. And just by us researching it, we may change our mind, so it provokes us too.
And when we bring up something, remember, we're not pointing the finger. We're not talking about someone in the audience or somebody in social media. We're generalizing. We're not picking on anyone.
Well, Josie, if I could do that, then I would be saying that I could be going into your mind, knowing what you're thinking. And I would come back saying something because I knew what you were thinking. Well, I'm not, who can do that? Nobody.
Yeah,
so I'm not generally speaking about any one person at all.
Yeah. Hi, Shanika. Welcome.
Shanika.
I managed to get an unboxing video done today too.
I know, and I saw that come up and I said, oh, I got something to watch tonight while James is catching up on all his shows.
Yeah, I managed to go to Walmart, Dollar Tree, and the grocery store, do the unboxing, and I've got 3 packages done. I've got to do more tonight. And I thought, wow,
You did have a busy day.
yeah, just add some more, Josie. But anyway, I felt good. I did get Thursday's pretty much my only day, like to go shopping or for appointments. So that's what I try to do.
Hey, Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. Welcome, welcome. And I was telling Angie, I was shocked. Southern California is always busy. And because of what's happening in 9/11 also, I couldn't believe Walmart wasn't packed at all, although I was there early, even the Dollar Tree and the grocery store. And the man who does my nails pointed it out. He said, "Did you see the parking lot? Pretty empty." And it was kind of nice, actually.
Yeah. Everybody
You know?
was kind of staying at home and not getting out today, which I can understand it. But
Yeah.
I mean, that is noticeable.
Yeah, it was really surprising because normally, even if you get to Walmart early, it's busy. So I got whatever I needed to get and didn't linger. Didn't have to wait in a long line, which was great. So anyway, we have 13 in here. I wrote just a short little introduction, and then we're going to get started. And after I do the introduction, I'm going to have Angie start with hers, and we want everyone to join in. This is not just us up here yakking. We want your opinion. And don't ever worry about. No one's going to give you a bad time. I'll guarantee you that. If anyone's rude to you, I will remove them. So this is a safe place today. And remember, we're here to learn with you. We don't know it all. And actually, it's taken me a long time to actually mature.
But I would say this, in this chat and in this show, come with an open mind and come with the thought of, I may not agree with what's being said, but I will think about it. And you still might not agree with it, but you could, I'm going to think about what everybody says,
Yeah. Like I said, there's a respectful way too. You can be, I say this a million times on YouTube. My best friend, we didn't speak religion and we didn't speak politics. And we were best friends for over 30 years. And she was amazing. If she thought the subject was going to get, close to what she didn't want to talk about, she'd just hang up. And we'd talk 2 days later and never discuss it.
That's called boundaries, Josie. Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries. And we each had them. And there was one time she wanted to say something on, the Christian religion. And she asked me permission, which was adorable. She said, "Can I say something and you won't get mad or be offended?" And I said, "No, say it."
Please,
anyway,
I want you to. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my opening. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Tonight, we're talking about life insecurities, the kind of things that can make us feel unsure of ourselves or even defensive at times. Maybe it's self-doubt, fear, or failure, or even just feeling like we're not enough. These struggles are real, but we don't have to face them alone. This is a space where we can open, share experiences, and learn from each other. So feel free to join the conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I'm just going to say 2 other things before I put Angie on. If somebody says something and you right away feel defensive, pause before you react. That's the one thing it took me a long time to learn, because you know how the anger starts and you just explode. You need to pause and replace negative self-talk with something kinder. Even small affirmations can shift how you see yourself. Okay, let it go, Angie. You're on.
Hello, Perla. Let me speak to Perla's Precious.
Hi, Perla. Yes. Good to
Welcome
see
in.
you.
Well,
Perla?
when Josie gave me the topic of this month's show, which we always share it and we start doing our own research on it, I thought it was a great topic because, first of all, we may not want to admit it, but everybody has insecurities about something. But here's the thing. I've always said this. We all matter. Now, we can't think that we matter to someone more. Everybody doesn't think that we matter. Let me see if I can put this in the right word. My children doesn't matter to you like my children matter to me. Okay? And you can't expect that kind of attention, which I know a lot of people love attention and we're on YouTube or whatever. But what I want to say is when you look at someone, look at them as a soul, a being, not just their outside. Look at who they are on the inside and try to understand where they're coming from. It's like Josie said, when you want to think you want to get defensive, pause a minute and think. Number one, I don't know what this person has lived through their entire life. I don't know how they were brought up in their life, when they were younger. Now, that doesn't give them a right to attack you or, do anything to you. But what I want to say is be vulnerable to a certain extent to say, look, this is what I don't like. This is what I do like. This is who I am. And don't be afraid to tell people who you are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Josie?
Okay. As I said before, pause before reacting. Challenge negative thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true or is it just my insecurities talking? How many times, look around, somebody makes a comment and they're speaking in general, but you kind of know that is kind of how you are. And right away you get defensive and you think they're talking about you when they're just talking in general. So sometimes our own guilt is what attacks us, not the other person. Because
And I will share this. Anytime that I do a video, like my neighborhood chat videos, I do it. It's not about any one person. It's not about anything that anybody's done or acted, because I don't really deal with drama. So I want to come to you with love and peace and joy and kindness. But if I come to you in that video and it rubs you the wrong way, let's just put it like that, start thinking to yourself, hey, that hurt. Do I need to check that? Because that's what I do. If something happens, I think, wait a minute, I need to rethink this. I need to rethink why I felt the way I did when this happened or why that happened. And let it go. Let a few hours go by. Let a day go by. Let time go by before you just jump in and immediately, come at the person that you thought was trying to expose you. But here's the thing. Nothing is new. Okay? Anything that you're going through, you're not the only one going through it.
True.
There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? Your mind to tell you, oh, you can't say anything about this because you're the only one that's dealing with it. Nobody will understand it. And, oh, they'll laugh at you. They'll talk about you. No, there's nothing new. Everything's already been. But if you'll bring it out of, let your mouth hear out into the world, there's more space out there than it is here.
Yep.
If you leave it here, it's a small space. If you speak it, it's a lot of room. It starts going, and then you think, "Ooh, I'm glad I got that out."
Yeah.
So I've done this. I've experienced in my life, not telling things and not sharing things. And then when I say it out of my mouth, someone will go, "Oh my goodness, I've experienced that same thing.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that. I let me tell you how I dealt with it." And then you start to heal. The only way you can heal is by exposing, and it's hard. It's hard to be vulnerable, but you got to be careful who you're vulnerable to.
Yep. And then practice gratitude. Write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. It shifts focus on what's wrong to what's right. When you start looking and just, in other words, count your blessings. Think of some good things in your life. And I don't care who you are, no matter how bad life is, you can find good things. If you've got a roof over your head and you've got food in your belly, and you've got at least one friend or one family member, you are blessed. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are blessed. Because you can always look out there and find somebody worse off.
I used
Thank you,
to,
Kathy.
oh, it was so sweet, Kathy. When I used to work in the public, I would come home, I'd be so tired, I'd get a shower, I'd get in the bed, and I would just say, "Thank you, Lord, for this comfortable bed. Thank you for I'm not homeless. I can come home to a bed that's so comfortable and I can sleep and get a good night's sleep." And some people would think that was strange, but I would literally be so thankful that I could lay my head down and be comfortable, you know? And you may think it's minute and it's not important, but it may not be important to other people, but it's important for you because like I always say, we're not all on the same milestone on our journey.
Yep.
But it is okay for us to share with each other because you know what? Something you say may trigger something in my life, and I go, "Oh, wow. I didn't
Yep.
realize that."
Yep.
Just the
And when you,
least little thing that was said.
and when you start having confidence and thinking some positive thoughts, you will be amazed how your life changes. And being around negative people all the time does not help you. And I hear build confidence with small wins, tackle little goals daily. Each success builds your sense of self-worth. So at one time, I don't do it anymore, but at one time, every morning I would make me a list of things that I wanted to do or should do, but I didn't include like household things like washing dishes, cooking, because those are necessities.
Yeah, there's stuff you supposed to
Those
do.
don't really build your confidence, but
Yeah.
if it's crafts, it's reading a book, no matter what, find something and accomplish it. It's get up off the sofa and go for a walk.
Hey, Nancy.
And you know, and I'm guilt. My schedule is so busy that I started walking about a month ago, and then I got a cold bug and I quit. And I've got to get myself out there because you'll be amazed if you walk every day how much better you feel.
That reminds me, Josie, this isn't in my notes, but I heard this general that was in I think he was in army. I don't know where generals are, but it's some form of in the service. He
Mm-hmm.
said, "Get in the habit of waking up every morning and making your bed.
Yep.
Make
I
your
just
bed up. Do things that are productive, even if you don't feel like it. If you can only do 3 things that are productive, and I'll tell you what I do. I turn on some kind of meditation music or something that's soothing, and I just calm myself and just start, being productive."
Yeah, yeah. It's you got and and I'll bring this up, maybe I shouldn't, but what's happened in our society, especially since the big C came a few years ago, people have become obese.
Hmm.
And if you lose weight, most people don't have to take blood pressure medication any longer. It's your weight gain that causes your cholesterol, your blood pressure. You got to get up and move. And if you're sitting all the time, you are going to get depressed.
Yes, and even if you're a diabetic, if you lose weight, that helps that,
It
in
does.
some cases. But movement, my son calls me or texts me every morning, Mama, get up and move,
Yep.
get up and move, and encourages me to move. And he doesn't know how much that means to me. And you think, well, why do you need to hear that? Well, it's so easy for me to get caught up in because I sit all the time.
Yeah.
So much time goes by that I don't realize that I've sit for 2 or 3 hours and not stood up. You know what I'm saying? And I just think, and I can hear his voice, Mama, stand up for a minute and a half. You gotta,
Yeah,
but
you've got to move.
you got to listen to things in your mind to make you push forward.
And no matter, I've heard people say it hurts. Yeah, it hurts, but you go through that pain, it will get better. That's why at the end of my career, when I was working in the nursing home, they walked the patients at least twice a day.
Yes.
And I know my mother was
release a serotonin or something in your brain.
Yeah, you've got to. My mother had surgery and she had to go into a nursing home for 3 weeks. And she admitted to me that, you know what, my legs feel better. And I said, wow, you're not sitting in your chair, Anyway, then positive self-talk, replace I can't with I'm learning or I'll try. Those are the two things. I'm learning or I'll try instead of no, I can't.
I would like to ask the chat, how do they feel about that comment you just said? Instead of using I can't, say, okay, I'll try to do it. Or even making a list of what you said, Josie, making a list of something to do. Yep. Some people are not self-motivated. I understand that. But if there's only 3 things on that sheet of paper, at least take those 3 things. You have 8 hours in a day or 10.
Yep.
And just do those 3 things.
Too many people, and I'm blessed I've never done that, but I had a younger brother who has done it all his life. Stop blaming other people for your shortcomings. Stop blaming your parents and how you were raised because, oh, I'm that way. Yes, okay, it did affect you, but I've spent years and years of my life to be different. I'm the only one. My 2 brothers never graduated high school. I'm the only one that graduated and went to college. And I was in my 30s when I went to college. So you can do, if you got it in your mind that you're going to better yourself, you can do it.
Now, by all statistics, I could have been a drug addict, a girl on the street. I could be in an institution because of mental problems, according to where I came from as a child and the things that I had to go through. But when I became an adult, I made a conscious decision to say, I'm not doing that. I'm going in this direction. It's okay, no matter what age you are, to change directions.
Yes.
And go in a different direction and learn something new and accept who you are and look at yourself and go, hey, God loves me, so I'm worthy. And I'm going to start taking care of myself and I'm going to start liking me. I think a lot of it is people don't like themselves. So they expect that other people do not like them.
And when you start liking yourself, it took me a while to enjoy living by myself. And after my husband died, let's see, I mean, I went on with life, but to say I really enjoyed being alone, but now I love it. I don't have to answer to anyone.
Right.
But you
And you've
have,
become adjusted to that and you've accepted, and you've turned it into a positive thing.
Mhm.
Look, there's two comments. It said, first of
Yeah.
all, Nancy was saying keep her family in your prayers. Her Aunt JoJo, that's the first one. And
Okay.
then down here, Kathy says she's been sitting out every day the last few months filming squirrels, and it has decreased her depression. I'm pretty sure it has. I love to watch birds, and that just brings me so much joy and comfort.
Yep. And Nancy, that I know that's hard for the family. That hey, I'm 84, and you know how I look at life. I enjoy every day that when God's ready for me, He'll come and get me. And I just ask to be comfortable. I would not do anything heroic. In fact, I have it in my DNR. No, no life supports, none of that.
I want to
And
elaborate on this, Josie, about living life to the fullest.
mm-hmm,
Someone told me one day, and like I said, the least little thing that somebody says could change your life immensely. Somebody said, Angie, why don't you just change your perception and stop focusing on what is so wrong with what you think is going on? Just turn a little bit and focus on something else. Don't just focus on number one. Why are you wanting this person to change? For you? Is it just for you? They have to want to change for themselves. I mean, that's kind of selfish. Do you want it for self gain? I mean, what is the motive? So I started looking at other things in my life, and the other thing that I was worried about, when I
mm-hmm,
stopped focusing on it so much, it was handled. It was taken care of. I didn't even have to worry about it anymore when I started focusing on something else and leaving it alone. I
mm-hmm.
thought about it in a few months, and after I changed my perception, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's already taken care of. Why was I so worried about it? You know?
As humans, sometimes we worry about something that never happens, actually.
Yeah, waste our life on something that
Yeah.
we hadn't even crossed that bridge.
And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it too. And we're going to worry about something that might happen 3 months down the line, which, like I said, statistically saying that's been proven that most things don't even happen that we worry about. So, and Kathy, that is great that you're getting. If you go outside, you when you're in pain, you can take it in small. It's like when I start my walking routine. If you walk 5 laps around all these buildings where I live, it's a mile. That when I start off, say I haven't walked for a long time, I do 1 lap twice a day, and then the next day I do 2 laps, and then I get it up to the 5, and then I do a mile or 2 a day.
And do
And
you know what you would mean to someone else if you would actually focus on someone else's need or someone else's situation than your own? Because
yeah,
I've found it more often than not. If I focus on someone else's, ask them how they're doing, what's going on with them, this and that, mine is kind of pushed back, and
mm-hmm.
I'm not so anxious, and I'm not so, uh, just to the point where that's all I'm focusing on.
Yep. Hi, Ella, welcome.
Hola.
And then I've got here, listen more, defend less. Sometimes insecurities make us want to argue instead of try listening first. You may find there is no attack to defend against. So, that's kind of on the verge of paranoia. And I've seen it. You see it on social media. Um, it's good to be safe and careful and all of that. But you can get to the point where you're paranoid and you think everyone's attacking you.
I agree with that, especially on social media. And what I was going to say about arguing with someone. Here's the thing: there's a difference between disagreeing and arguing. And if you're going to argue with someone, then it's no need to have the conversation, because number one, you're going into it trying to win something. You're trying to win over your thoughts are better than their thoughts. Your ideas better than their idea. You know more than they know. I mean, you're automatically going into it like that if you want to argue with someone.
Yeah,
But
you're
if you
defensive.
right. If you want to give your side of it, let them give their side of it. At the end, shake hands and say, sorry we couldn't come to agreeing with each other, but I'll think about what you said. You know, there's a difference.
Yep, there is. And then this is, I think, a good idea. Journaling. Write down what triggers your insecurities. Over time, patterns become clearer and you can work on them. But if you actually write it down, and this is a technique that you use in also grieving. There was one technique, and I talked about it in my grieving videos, that say you lost a loved one and you write all your feelings, even anger, in a letter. You give it to a trusted person that you know you could trust 100%, or you bury it. I think burying it's a better idea.
Right.
But you get it out of your system, so you don't keep the anger in you.
It comes from out of here onto outside, and it gets out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've always journaled, and I think that's what's helped me heal.
Yeah, and I think if you once get it out, not that you forget. No, I'm not ever saying or telling anyone to forget what you went through in life or at the present time, but you learn to live with it. You learn to know this is life. We weren't promised a rose garden. Every single person on this earth is going to go through tragedies, pain, something in their life. No one's picking on them. That's just life. And you may not agree, and it's fine if you don't agree with me.
But you know, hurt is hurt, and it doesn't feel good. Okay, we all, if you've lived long enough, you have been hurt.
Yep.
But you can take that hurt. Don't get me wrong. Have your moment. Say that hurt me, and I'm gonna cry about it. I'm gonna get angry about it. Have your moment. Take it. Do whatever. Then say to yourself, this is a stepping stone. I'm going to learn from this. I'm not going to be angry about it. You know, I'm going to learn from it. And then it turns it into you have the power instead of it having power over you.
Mm-hmm. And I was taught you have 3 pity party days. You feel sorry for yourself.
72 hours, and that's it.
And that's it. My best friend taught me that. And then she said, then you get your butt up and go on with life. And I've never forgotten that. And then it says, surround yourself with supportive people. Spend time with people who lift you up, not those who tear you down. You don't need to be around people that, okay, this person's supposed to be your friend, but they look at you and say, well, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. And maybe you should wear that, or you should fix your hair a different way.
Your makeup looks bad.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just all the time just negative. Yeah.
And let's face it, and I've seen it on social media. How many people that say they're your friend, but the jealousy is right there. And they're not really happy for you when you've accomplished something. You can feel it, you can see it. And, you know, so try, if it's all possible, not to be around negativity. Then take care of your body, sleep, healthy food, movement, and that's the walking. It's a big role in emotional strength. And remember, you're not alone. Everyone struggles with insecurities. Sharing your story can help someone else feel and feel seen. And all of us want to be seen. We don't want to be, thinking no one notices us, no one likes us, that type of thing.
And I will say this, it's okay to say no. Because look, in my 30s, I had to practice in front of the mirror, and I would just say no, no, no. And it's okay if somebody asks you, do you want to do this? No. Even if you wanted to do it, just practice no. And it gets easier because, some people don't know how to tell somebody else, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't agree with you. No, they just don't know the word no. But I'm here to tell you, the more you use it, the easier it gets. And it's a freedom that comes with that because you're able to say no to something that you really do not want to do. And you are not put in someone's life to save them. Don't let them bring you down.
Yep.
Because you think, oh, they won't have anybody else if I'm not there. They won't even make it if I'm not there to help them. No, that's a trap. Don't do that.
Yep.
When you're in a friendship, it's a give and take. Now don't get me wrong. I know if Josie had a friend to pass away and she was grieving, yeah, I would be there for her for a little while till she, got back up. There are circumstances, but I'm talking about a friend that does that constantly and only it's about them and you don't, it's never about you.
If you want to test real friendship, and I've seen it in real life. In fact, I've heard stories about, somebody who is always in the bar drinking with all their buddies. When they had a lot of money and they could buy everyone drinks, they had tons of friends. When they went broke and didn't have any, no one was their friend. Those are fake friends. And that you can see that in social media sometimes. Your real friends don't care what you have.
I heard someone say, Josie, and I didn't share this with you, but I heard someone say, you really can't have friends on YouTube. You really can't. There's no such thing. People pretend that they have friends or they want to think they do, but they're really not. Okay, that's a perception in my eyes. If I feel like Josie and I are friends.
Yep.
I feel like Ella and I are friends. Claudette, I've never even met her, but I feel like we're friends. Now, if I'm being deceived, it's for me to find out. It's not for people to come to me and say, oh, this person's deceiving you online and they're doing this. Okay, first of all, if they are, then I'll find it out. Lesson learned. You know?
It's like in fact, I heard it on my car radio. I listened to a Christian station, and that it's kind of like, when we were kids, that game we played, you were in a circle and one person started the story. And by the time it got all the way around, it was a complete different story.
Did they call that telephone or something like that? You know how you used to call somebody on the phone and you would share it? Yeah.
And that's how gossip destroys people too. Because it's never the original. By the time it gets to 10 or 15 different people, the story is completely out of whack. It's just different.
And I often say this, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it doesn't matter what somebody has or doesn't have. It doesn't matter what they look like or they don't look like. That you think they should. It doesn't matter if they speak, fluent English or they don't. We're all human beings trying to survive in a world that's getting to where people do not trust each other less and less every day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need to come together and just say, that's an individual, and I need to, if I don't like them, I can at least respect them, you
Yeah.
know?
And we're so guilty sometimes of making judgment calls without really knowing the person. You know, you get to know the person. Now, does anyone in the audience have any questions or wants us to
Oh,
discuss
just
something?
share something, about
Yeah,
what we're talking about or anything.
yeah. Just feel free. And, we're not going to make judgment calls, whether we agree or, like I said, disagree. I learned by listening
I
to
think
people.
some people, have this thought of, well, I'm not as intelligent as this person over here, or I can't say what I really want to say the way I think they would say it. First of all, you be you, and you ask the question or say what you want to say, no matter what you think it sounds like to whoever's listening, because
Mhm.
people like you to be real and authentic, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Well, you know, the bad thing, with gossip too, people don't get to really know the person. I laughed at it. I heard a remark about me that they thought I was just a rich Californian, and I just chuckled my head off over that one. I think, do you realize everybody in California is not wealthy? That this is how, yeah, judgment calls are made. And I think, yeah, California's got a lot of homeless people. So people just gossip and
Well, here's the thing with me. Like I was sharing on the video, when I get to the point where I'm in so much pain and I have to step away from people, because I do have my moments of, I can be nasty. Now, I mean, he's been married to me 38 years. I can be so nasty to him sometimes just by being short with him, like, saying things to him. And I'm sorry after I do it, but I'm in so much pain. I just want to say, don't ask me a question. Don't speak to me. Don't do anything. And we're all human and we make mistakes and we do things that we're not happy about. And if somebody tells me that they don't ever do anything wrong and they live perfect and all that, I'm like, no, you're not human. No way. No way.
no one's perfect. It's like there's something I think is, I like this comment. Recognize that judgment often stems from bias, stereotypes, or fear of differences. Awareness is the first step. Reflect on your own assumptions before judging others.
Ask yourself, why you are judging that person.
Yeah.
Every time you come in to a situation where you meet someone, or just say on YouTube or in a chat, and something they may say and it may trigger something, you think, now why is that triggering me? Is it really because of what they said, or is it the way that something that happened in my past that I really don't appreciate that being said? Because that person probably don't even know that it even triggered you. You know what I'm saying? So you need to question yourself, is it the person or is it something I need to deal with?
I would like to know from the everyone in the chat, or whoever wants to talk. I would like to know, what are your insecurities that have held you back? What really bothers you the most?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, do you feel inferior? I mean, I always said God doesn't look at the outside of us; He looks at the inside of us. Because I've heard people, oh, I don't want to go live. I don't like the way I look, or
I don't like my voice.
yeah.
I don't want people to make fun of me. Here's the thing I want to ask. And I know people are sensitive about this, and I don't want to put it in a way of nonchalant, because I don't mean it in a nonchalant way. But what difference does it matter? Because if somebody laughs at you, I laugh at me all the time.
Me
If
too. I love
somebody laughs at me when I say something, I'm usually the first to laugh. But you
it.
don't ever know where if somebody's been bullied in their younger years, if they've been made fun of, you don't know why that's so sensitive to that person.
Yeah. No, and it takes, I used to be, I was very quiet and timid. I always felt, in growing up, my older brother was the favorite, and my parents praised him, and I didn't get the praise. But I knew those things existed, and I told myself when I became an adult, I was going to work on changing those. And it took a long time, but none of that bothers me anymore. Um,
Nancy said, fear of failure is one, lack of self confidence is another. Let me share something with you about failure. Failure is not bad.
mhm.
What's bad is not trying. Whatever you want to do. I mean, there are billionaires that have filed bankruptcy 2 or 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
They have failed at finances, but they kept trying it over and over again, and they didn't give up. It's okay to fail. Everybody in this world has not succeeded in something that they were trying to do. I mean, if you really put your heart to it and you want to do it, keep trying. But if you try and fail and decide, I'm not doing that again,
Mhm.
that's okay too.
Do you know perfectionists actually accomplish less than the average person? Because a perfectionist, when they try to do something and it's not to their liking, it's not perfect, they quit. They never finish. The average person, we'll do a project, and it's okay if it's not perfect. We accept it, which is good. We accomplish more than the perfectionist.
Exactly.
So
And
it's
don't
okay to fail, be a failure sometimes. We all are.
and if you grew up in a which I did, we didn't have, I say we, but my family, we didn't have anybody there encouraging us to do things like I played sports, but I took it upon myself. I made A's and B's. I could have made straight A's. I didn't apply myself like I should. But that, if I would have come home with C's, D's, whatever I would have come home with, I wouldn't have got in trouble for it. I
Mhm.
just didn't have anybody there to say, "Come on, Angie, come on, you can do it." You know.
Well, Kathy, I'm glad you were aware of that and you made changes in your life. That will head you in the right direction. Um, you know,
Oh yes, about ending, and sometimes ending a friendship brings on a whole new set of friends that
yep,
you didn't think that you would ever have.
yep. And I think what's brought on a lot of, what should I say? I hate to use the word fakeness, but is people behind a keyboard too will say anything, but they don't have the nerve to say it to your face. So it's given them a freedom to be more rude, disrespectful. They try to put somebody down to make themselves feel better. And it's sad. I mean, I've had it done to me. You know what?
Oh,
I
we
think,
all have, and don't compromise who you are just to have a friend.
yep, yep,
Okay, don't do that. I know it's human nature to want to be connected to something. That's just part of who we are. We want to have a connection to people. We want to fit into a group. We want to belong. I understand that. But you know what? When you start loving yourself and accepting who you are, you will find the people that you
yep.
belong with.
And you can't buy friends, and friends shouldn't be able to buy you. And true friendship, a true friend is there no matter what happens in your life. they're there for you. And like I said, it's taken
I'm
me a
so
long
glad
time.
that you realized that, Kathy, and I'm so glad that
Yeah.
a new journey has started. And people, oh, I don't like change. I don't want change. I don't like change. Let me tell you something. Change can be good sometimes. It can be wonderful. Look at it like, now I know it probably hurt, but look at it like this. What's the next thing? What's the next thing that's going to happen? It's going to be good.
Hmm. Yep. It's um,
Look forward to your future. Look forward to the next day. Look forward to the next thing that you might want to try that you wouldn't have tried had you stayed friends with this person or that person, because you always went along with what they wanted to do, just
yep.
so they'd be your friend, or you could be connected, that you did everything they wanted to do and they never wanted to do anything you wanted to do. Now you have all the freedom in the world
Hmm.
to do what you want to do. Like Josie, she says she likes being by herself now. You know, you
Hmm.
can adjust to anything if you seek the joy in it, the lesson in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, after my first divorce, I didn't remarry until 15 and a half years, but I had my kids, so I wasn't totally alone. I didn't have a spouse, but I had my kids. And that I think if more people would learn to love themselves, and then yes, you have a happy relationship or a happy marriage. But if you love yourself, you will demand respect. If you don't love yourself, you take any nonsense somebody hands to you because you don't think you're worthy of respect.
And you are.
And you
You
are.
are.
Yeah.
Pamela said, I I'll say, if anyone has anything to say about me, say it to my face.
Yep.
See, that's what it is with being online nowadays. Like Josie was saying, they can hide behind the keyboard. We all live in different states. We all live in different towns, cities. It's so easy to hurt someone online. And my point is this: who wakes up and just automatically starts thinking, well, who am I going to hurt today? Who am I going to attack today? Who am I going to try to bring down? What kind of mindset is that? I'm glad I don't understand it. But when someone does that to you, the best way I handle it is say, thank you. Okay, you don't know me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't give them anything to argue with you about and you just stop it and walk away, they're going to be standing there arguing to themselves, with
Mm-hmm.
themselves.
Yeah. And then I say sometimes you can't argue with stupid.
Oh, no.
You absolutely get nowhere arguing with somebody who's not willing to listen or who's not willing to take responsibility and say, hey, maybe I should have handled that a little different. Maybe I should have said that a little different. You can't argue with somebody like that because
And
it's
you will
all
know how
your.
valuable you are to that other person when that happens and they won't allow you to have your opinion, but they can have theirs. You'll know where your friendship stands.
Mhm. Well, there was the old saying, something about if you have one or two friends. I can't remember exactly how the saying went. In other words, one or two friends is better than many, many friends that are fake.
Yeah, one or two true friends than
Mhm.
rather to have 500 fake friends or
Yeah,
something like that, which
yeah.
is true. They say in your lifetime you're going to have this many true friends in your lifetime. It's going to be a handful, if that. So what are we worried about? I mean, they're going to come along. They're going to meet up with us in our life. I truly believe that. Sometimes we do things to stop them from coming because we want to stay so badly with the people that we don't need to be with that we don't leave. Have you ever felt like you were in a group of people and you, first of all, you fit in, and then all of a sudden you felt like you didn't?
Oh, yes. Yes,
And then
definitely.
you think, it's just me, I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay. And you just get more down and down. And all of a sudden, when you leave that group and go over here with these other people, it's like, oh my gosh, this is where I needed to have been the whole time.
Mhm.
So allow yourself to move on.
I've seen it in my life on YouTube in the last 7 years.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me several times during my life that I
Yeah.
would just get to the point where I wasn't enjoying the company. I would get
Mhm.
angry. I would be sad. I would be depressed. And then I would think, okay, I got to make a change. And then I would make a change and it would be like, why did I fight that so bad?
Yeah.
Why didn't I just go along with it?
But I think, like the title, living with, insecurities, if you can work on those insecurities, and neither one of us are saying it's easy. Um, if you can work on them and improve them, even if it takes years, you will be amazed how your life will change.
And if you don't know all of them, write them down. Don't be ashamed of them.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't want to talk about their insecurities because they're ashamed. Why are you ashamed? It's
There's
okay.
no reason to be
Write them
ashamed.
down. Nobody else has to know it.
No.
Then look at your progress. Once you write them down, and weeks or so, go back and look at the progress you have made overcoming those insecurities.
And when it comes to health, and I'm speaking of just me and my medical background, how many people, you go to the doctor and before he's even done tests, he's assuming you might have something. And you get this horrible word in your brain, and you go home and you stress, and it makes you actually ill because you're stressed. Um,
Stress will
try,
make you sick. It will destroy your body. It does all kind of stuff.
and then you might find out a little bit later, well, I didn't have that anyway. Well, doctors aren't supposed to do that, but some do once in a while. And it's part of life. Everyone has health issues at one time. Again, at one time in your life, it's not the end of the world. Everyone has health issues. Don't build this up in your mind that this is the end, because
Exactly.
where's your fight to survive? Don't let anyone make you feel like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Don't give
If I
up.
could impress upon anybody, I would say live life daily as a gift and just say, what am I going to enjoy today?
Yep,
Even if it's
exactly.
just a meal, looking out your front door, looking at nature, whether it's a phone call or a friend, or if it's just one thing to hold on to. And let me say this, what a difference a day can make. If you have a bad day and you're like, I can't do this anymore, I just can't.
Yep.
The next day, it might be the brightest day of your life.
You never give up. And Nancy, you're right. I say all the time. And like I said, I am 84 years old. And it makes me enjoy each day to the fullest. I don't sit around and worry that, okay, when's the end of my life? I'm ready anytime God's ready. But it makes me enjoy, and it makes me, I fill my schedule. This is, if you sit around and do nothing, you will get depressed. You have to have a project. I've seen it in the medical field. I've seen people retire and do nothing, and their brain cells start dying off and their memory is gone. You find something to do and you be happy with doing it.
And also, don't sit around and regret the things that you haven't done that you wanted to do. Don't regret that. Start looking forward to something that you are seeking to do. Start looking forward to something, instead of saying, oh, I wished I would have done this. I wish I hadn't have done this. I wish, no, 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 no. Start looking forward instead of regretting.
And we can't change anything in the past. Not one thing. And stewing about it, all it does is make you physically and mentally sick.
Exhausted.
And exhausted, yeah.
And like when we're online, let's just say this, Josie and I were talking about, we spend a lot of time online and in chats and on YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I love doing it. It gives me a sense of comfort and that I'm accomplishing something and I'm making, so-called friends. Some people think they're not, but I think I do have friends on YouTube.
You do.
And so I'm saying when you go into chats or when you are online, be the person that you want somebody to be to you.
Mm-hmm.
Go in it to say, well, how would I want somebody to treat me? How would I want somebody to welcome me into a chat room, into a channel, or, just think that. Put that in your mind.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to, like living with insecurities, okay, we need money, yes. And I've heard people say, and maybe when I was young, I'm guilty of saying that too. If I only had X amount of money, I could do this and do that. You know what? That money, it might make life a little easier, but it doesn't make you happy. Because most people who have an abundance of money are always buying something thinking that one object is going to bring happiness. And once they get that object, they need something else.
They live in fear that they're going to lose all that money.
Exactly. You have to become secure in who you are. And it doesn't matter if you're some relative or a friend or your neighbor doesn't like you. It doesn't matter. Somebody will love you. Somebody will like you. We dwell on trying to please everyone.
I've told James this. He and I have had a lot of discussion about my health. I said, if somebody would come to me and say, Angie, you have to work until you pass away and I'll give you your health back. You cannot retire. You cannot sit still. You have to work. Hands down, I would say deal. Because when your health gets taken from you, it's not like money. Because you can always go out and get a job when you don't have money. Mm-hmm. But your health cannot always be fixed. Yep. And when your health starts being taken from you, it's a lot worse than anything financial that could happen to you. Mm-hmm. And I told James, I said, I would shake that person's hand and say, deal. If I could just get back to where I was before this happened, And I would work. I mean, look at Josie. Josie's in her 80s. She's strong. She's working. She's doing her thing.
And I have, a lot of people don't realize this. I do have to work, or I couldn't pay for my apartment. And my legs do hurt. I am in pain. But
I know you are, because But here's the deal.
I've
we
always
don't talk about it all the time.
No, I don't.
But it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah. I said what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, I did a auction with 103 fever. And even my son said, Mom, what were you thinking? And I said, I guess I wasn't.
You were in that fever fog and you didn't realize what you were doing.
Oh, I did. I just knew I needed the money and I needed to do it. And, same way when I was single, divorced, and I had to go to work. I went to work even if I didn't feel good. It's you have to have that inner determination, and it's hard to get. I agree. I don't ever tell anyone, oh, it's just, you can just do this.
But I think when you were, being young and like I was growing up, James grew up, it was instilled in us to work. We wasn't going to have anything if we didn't work. We wasn't born with a silver spoon in our mouth.
Yeah.
We were going to have to work for everything that we got. So if you wanted anything, and look, there's nothing wrong with a good work ethic. Nothing.
No. You can survive when, say, somebody born with a silver spoon in their mouth won't survive. You can survive if you had to work. You can find something to do. But the main thing for this show is we wanted to help people and ourselves, learn to live with insecurities, learn to change them, learn to work on them. So
embrace it.
You're always going to have some. I don't care how good you are. You're always going to be insecure in some area.
I think that's what keeps us honest and what keeps us real, is to know that we do have insecurities, and we need to embrace them and say, hey, look here. This is who I am. I'm working on it. I may fail. It's okay. Failure is okay. What's not okay is not trying and not getting back up and dusting yourself off and go, okay, that didn't feel good, but I'm going to try again.
Yep. And to get over your insecurities, work on you. Don't let someone else tell you how to live your life. You can listen and maybe get some ideas, but don't ever have anyone, family, friend, whatever, tell you, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, because they're only thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about, or they don't know how you feel inside.
Nobody can tell you how you feel on the inside. Only you know that.
Yeah.
Only I know that. And look, if we don't make the right decision, at least we made a decision and we'll learn from it. That's what I always thought. I've never had a problem making a decision. It may be the wrong one, but I can make it.
But you made it, yeah. Anyway, I know it was kind of a subject that a lot of people wouldn't want to comment on, and we didn't get a lot of people in here, but I'm sure they'll watch the replay. And I do have a closing statement, but first, before I read it, I want to say we're not criticizing anyone. We're not pointing fingers. We do these shows because we also learn something. We're certainly not perfect. I always say, if I was perfect, I wouldn't be on this earth. And even at my age, I work on it every day, trying to improve. And it's taken me a long time. I can honestly say it took me, and I can say this last year, I finally have learned to forgive everyone. But think about how old I am. It took me a heck of a long time.
And just let me say this, Josie, don't avoid it. Don't avoid your insecurities. Don't avoid people. Don't avoid getting to know others. Don't avoid living your life. Yep. Take it and say, look, this is who I am. If people do not like me, they don't care for who I am, so what? who cares? Somebody out there is and will.
And you will see your life improve. I wish I could actually tell you how different I feel. And I will, weren't going to talk about religion, but the day I totally gave my life to the Lord is when I seen the day's improvement, how different I felt, and how people can't. I was one that if somebody attacked me, I'm going to attack right back. I don't do that anymore. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, you've let it go.
I've let it go. And so that's what I'm hoping that, some who have more insecurities than others will just love yourself, work on yourself. But anyway,
We're so glad y'all were here tonight.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you found something helpful, ideas, felt supported in facing your insecurities. Remember, it's okay to feel uncertain sometimes, and every small step taken towards understanding yourself is progress. Keep practicing kindness towards yourself, pause before reacting, and lean on people who lift you up. You're not alone on this journey, and I'm so glad we could share this time together. I can't wait to see you next time. Stay strong, stay brave, and keep believing in yourself.
Oh, that's wonderful. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone. God bless you.